In the cold, lifeless expanse of a star system devoid of any habitable worlds, a formidable gray spaceship drifted silently. Its hulking, utilitarian design was accentuated by bold green script adorning its hull, characters of the Orcs' standardized language proclaiming its allegiance or purpose. The vessel's front boasted three distinct, triangular command structures, each serving as a vital nexus for the ship's complex operations. From every angle of the immense craft, a multitude of intricate instruments protruded, diligently engaged in their ceaseless task, scanning nearby star systems with unparalleled precision, searching for the faintest whisper of life. These advanced sensors, whirring with an almost imperceptible hum, were the ship's eyes and ears in the cosmic void, constantly analyzing planetary atmospheres, energy signatures, and any anomaly that might betray the presence of sentient beings. At the stern of this colossal vessel, a truly awe-inspiring sight presented itself. 9 gigantic boosters, their exhaust nozzles hinting at the immense power they could unleash. These colossal engines were not merely for propulsion. They were an absolute necessity, providing the immense thrust required to propel this oversized craft through the vast distances of interstellar space. Their dormant power hinted at journeys spanning light years, across cosmic expanses. A striking emblem adorned the side of the ship, a powerful green logo that left no doubt as to the ship's identity and allegiances. It depicted a fearsome axe, its blade deeply embedded in a skull, a stark and unyielding symbol that spoke of strength, conquest, and an unwavering resolve. This insignia, emblazoned prominently, served as a visual testament to the philosophy and might of its creators, a warning to any who might cross its path. The 3 triangular command chambers glowed with the sickly green light of the ship's consoles, each housing one of Valgoulish's war chiefs. Hololinks shimmered between them, allowing every scarred face and every flex of tusk and jaw to be seen with brutal clarity. Marca-mes Gorrath loomed in his chamber like a statue of iron brought to life. His bald head gleamed beneath the dim light, deep scars running across his face from battles long past. His yellow eyes were steady, watchful, the eyes of a tactician who measured before he struck. His massive arms rested on the armrests of his throne, thick as tree trunks, the muscles rippling even at rest. At his side lay a brutal cleaver axe, its chipped blade still stained from his last campaign. Valgoulish grows weaker each season, he rumbled, tusks jutting as his mouth curled into a scowl. The ash storms are thicker, the rivers poisoned, and our forges cool from lack of fuel. And still, no world worth taking. 2 systems scouted, barren rocks and gas giants. A third, nothing but ice and silence. His eyes narrowed, glowing faintly as his frustration smoldered. Across from him, Oudish-con Vrogar sneered, every line of his brutish face alive with barely contained rage. His mane of thick, matted black hair framed a head that looked carved from stone, his tusks long and jagged, one capped with iron after shattering in a duel. His weapon, a spiked war mace taller than most humans, rested against his throne, the steel head etched with kill marks. His eyes blazed red with fury as his fists clenched like boulders. "Bah!" he roared, slamming one fist on his console hard enough to rattle the instruments. "The stars mock us. Once, the clans thrived as mercenaries, paid in iron, in blood, in conquest. Now peace grips the region like a strangler's hand. The other races trade, whisper, smile, and we are left to rot in stillness." His lip curled, revealing yellowed teeth sharpened to points. Mirana-sol Drakthar sat alone in her chamber, and though she was the smallest of the 3, she commanded attention like a blade drawn in silence. Her presence was rare, nearly unthinkable, a female war chief. Her skin bore the green-gray sheen of Valgoulish's strongest, and her muscles rivaled her male counterparts, broad shoulders and arms carved with power. Yet her form carried a fierce, feminine edge, her chest large and heavy even by human reckoning, her curves visible beneath the layers of scarred armor. A jagged scar slashed across her left cheek, a testament to the battles that had carved her into a leader, not a token. Resting across her knees was a double-bladed glaive, its black metal edge humming faintly with latent energy. Her golden eyes, sharp as a hawk's, flickered between the two males. She tilted her head slightly, tusks glinting as her lips curved in something close to a smile. Her voice was calm, deliberate, but with a cutting edge that silenced the others. Peace, yes, but not by their design. Something shifted beyond our reach. Fleets we once fought are docked, their weapons silent. Even the rival clans do not call us to war. No contracts, no coin, no blood spilled. That silence is not chance. Marca-mes ground his tusks together, his eyes tightening as if weighing her words. Our economy was forged in battle. Without it, the clans bicker over scraps. Hunters without prey will turn on one another soon enough. His voice was steady, but in his expression lingered the shadow of inevitability. Oudish-con bared his teeth in a grin that was more threat than humor. Then we must make prey, he bellowed, his voice booming. If no one hires our axes, we carve our own contracts. Find a planet, strip it, enslave what lives upon it. That is the Orc way. His nostrils flared as he leaned forward, red eyes burning with unrestrained hunger for war. Mirana's smile widened faintly, though her gaze darkened, a predator's gleam in her eyes. Do you not see? Even prey has vanished. These star systems dead, lifeless. Something culls them before we arrive. And Valgoulish starves while we wander, blind to the truth. The chamber was silent for a long moment, only the low hum of the ship breaking it. Marca-mes exhaled slowly, his chest rising like a mountain shifting. Perhaps, but truth or not, we cannot return empty-handed. The clans grow restless. If we fail to find a world, they will tear each of us from our thrones. Oudish-con laughed harshly, teeth bared, a sound that echoed like steel striking steel. Let them try. My throne is built on skulls. But a world must be found, or we are all nothing. Mirana tilted her head, her gaze narrowing, lips curling into a soft, dangerous smile. Then let us pray the next system offers more than silence, or we may discover who among us the clans truly follow. The air in each command chamber vibrated with the sudden wail of an alarm. Harsh red glyphs flared across their consoles, the universal signal for an urgent transmission. From the central nexus of the ship, a deep-voiced comms officer crackled through the hololink, his excitement breaking through his usual formality. War chiefs, the scanners have captured something. Not a planet signature, but a message. A repeating broadcast, pulsing across the void on simple frequencies. It carries language, translated by our onboard lexicon. We believe it is an invitation. A hiss of static. Then the words rolled into their chambers, distorted but clear enough. This is humanity. We are sending this message to see if there are other intelligent beings out there. If you are hearing this, come to our home on Earth and relieve us of this search. Thank you. The voice was thin, untested. It carried no roar, no dominance, only a strange, vulnerable plea. For a long heartbeat, silence clung to the chambers like dust. Marca-mes Gorrath was the first to stir. His heavy brow furrowed as his scarred lips pulled tight, tusks jutting forward as though tasting the words. His golden eyes flicked back and forth as if he could see strategies already forming in the air. At last, he growled, voice low, vibrating like thunder beneath the surface. A world with life, and life that seeks contact. Desperate, open-handed, they invite us to their hearth, blind to the fire they summon. Across the hololink, Oudish-con Vrogar threw back his head and barked a laugh that shook his massive frame. His tusks glistened in the green light as his red eyes burned with savage hunger. Fools. They beg for discovery, and discovery they shall have. I say we descend upon this earth, split its ground, and make its skull our banner. If they think peace keeps them safe, we shall teach them war eternal. His fist struck the haft of his mace, sending a dull boom reverberating through his chamber. Mirana-sol Drakthar, however, did not laugh. She leaned forward on her throne, glaive balanced across her knees, the faint hum of its edge resonating like a predator's growl. Her golden eyes narrowed, lips curling in that familiar, dangerous smile. "Strange, is it not?" she murmured. "Why would a race reveal itself so plainly, begging strangers to come? Either they are weak beyond reckoning, or cunning enough to bait a trap. Both are useful." Her gaze flicked toward the two males, her tusks gleaming faintly as she bared them in a grin. "Either they kneel, or they teach us what power silenced the stars." Marca-mes grunted, eyes narrowing as he processed her words. "Trap or no, we cannot ignore this. Valgoulish crumbles. The clan's hunger. A world with life is all that matters. And this, Earth, may be our deliverance." Oudish-con leaned forward, breath hot as he snarled. "Enough words. Set course. I will grind their warriors into dust and drink their screams." Orcs were not born to hesitate. Mirana's smile only grew sharper. "Then let us go, Oudish-con. But remember, the last prey we expected to be weak nearly burned our fleets. We shall see what these humans truly are." The hololinks pulsed, uniting their voices in a rare moment of agreement. For the first time in years, Valgoulish's war chiefs had a single purpose. The ship's colossal boosters roared to life, a low vibration that rattled every corridor and chamber. The crew braced as the warp core throbbed, its emerald glow building until it split the void open in a violent tear. Marca-mes's golden eyes gleamed with anticipation as he leaned forward on his throne. Navigation. Set course for the message's origin. The navigator's claws flew over the runes of the console, voice tight with awe. "Yes, War Chief. The source lies at the very edge of our scanner's reach. The coordinates suggest it sits near the outer rim of this galaxy. Beyond, there is only void." "Then let us see if void has teeth," Mirana-sol murmured, tusks glinting as she smiled. With a deep hum that became a howl, the warp drive flared. Reality bent, stars stretched into ribbons of white, and the massive ship was hurled forward like an arrow loosed from a titan's bow. Time fractured, distance collapsed, until at last, a planet awash in blue and green, wrapped in drifting clouds, glittering in the golden light of its star. Oceans gleamed like liquid jewels, vast forests spread across continents, and white polar caps glistened at the edges. For a heartbeat, even hardened orc warriors stared in silence. Then the consoles shrieked with readings. The comms officer's tusks trembled as he read the displays. "War chiefs, this world, its energy signatures are impossible. The entire surface is veined with power grids. Cities of steel and glass stretch for hundreds of leagues. Dozens, no hundreds, of artificial satellites encircle it. Some are weapons, massive ones." Marca-mes Gorrath leaned forward, his golden eyes glinting with a mix of hunger and calculation. The scars on his face deepened as his jaw tightened. "So, they are not desperate peasants begging for saviors. They are builders armored in industry and fire. A civilization that dares to invite predators to their hearth." He grunted, the sound more a growl than a word. "This changes the game." Oudish-con Vrogar, however, threw his head back and laughed, the sound rolling like thunder. His red eyes burned with savage glee as his tusks gleamed. "Perfect," he roared, slamming a fist against the haft of his mace. "I feared soft prey. But this is worthy conquest. A world bristling with defenses, a planet fat with warriors. We shall crush them, bleed them, and take their steel for our own." His grin was wide and feral, hungry for challenge. Mirana-sol Drakthar did not laugh. She leaned on her throne, one clawed hand trailing along the edge of her glaive, its twin blades humming faintly. Her golden eyes narrowed, studying the hollow projection of Earth with predatory focus. Her voice was smooth, deliberate, a razor hidden in silk. "Or perhaps they do not expect us to crush them, Oudish-con. Perhaps they expect us to die in the attempt. Consider the scale. No world invests so much into defenses unless it fears annihilation, or intends to wage it." She tilted her head, tusks catching the green light, her lips curling in a dangerous smile. What if their message was not a plea, but bait? A call to draw hunters into their den. Marca-mes grunted again, thoughtful. His thick fingers drummed on the console beside his axe, each tap like a war drum. Trap or no, Earth is a prize unlike any we have seen. To ignore it would doom Valgoulish. The clans will not wait while we scour barren rocks. If we bring back this world, we bring back survival. The comms officer's voice trembled as he added. Sensors also detect something else. Patterns in orbit. Ships, but unmanned. Their power cores dwarf ours. And signals. Countless signals, moving faster than light within their own world. Their communication web, it spans the planet like a net. Mirana's smile deepened, sharp as the edge of her weapon. A net, or a web. And we, perhaps, the flies. Oudish snarled, dismissing her words with a sweep of his massive arm. Enough riddles. Orcs are no flies. Orcs are the storm that shatters nets. Let them come. Let their machines burn. Earth will learn the meaning of warchief. Marca's eyes stayed fixed on the blue planet, unblinking, unyielding. Then it is settled. Set course for orbit. Prepare strike scouts. We will see if these humans are truly prey, or if they are the wolves that culled the stars. The ship's colossal engines roared back to life. The void trembled. Slowly, inexorably, the Orc warship angled toward the shining Earth. And deep below, in the blue jewels sprawling cities, unseen eyes already turned upward, watching. On Earth, a mansion stood quiet against the evening skyline, its 9 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms a testament to old-world grandeur in an era when most lived within towers of steel and glass. 3 generations filled its halls, laughter and conversation echoing faintly in the distance. But here, in the private study, silence reigned. Shelves of physical books, ancient tomes bound in leather, weathered encyclopedias, and yellowed novels, lined the walls from floor to ceiling. In this age, where knowledge flowed endlessly through data streams and hollow archives, such artifacts were rare, a mark of eccentric wealth. At the room's center sat a young man before his hollow desk. His face, still that of someone in his late 20s, bore a calm, almost scholarly composure. Yet his hair gleamed silvery white, catching the light like strands of moonlit metal, a trait that made him stand out in every crowd. On the desk, shimmering faces stared back at him. Generals draped in uniform, politicians in their austere suits, corporate magnates with cold eyes. All wore the same expression, solemn, tight-lipped, carrying the weight of knowledge not yet spoken aloud. The young man exhaled slowly, leaning back in his chair. A wry, almost bitter smile tugged at the corners of his lips. "Welp," he muttered to himself, his voice quiet beneath the static hum of the hollow feed. "It seems my role is finally being used for once." His silver eyes reflected the faces hovering before him, all expectant, all silent. "I am to be the first ambassador to the aliens. Maybe the last, if things go awry." No one on the call spoke immediately. They didn't have to. The tension in the air was enough. Somewhere above, in the vastness of orbit, something waited. Something massive, alien, and watching. And for the first time, the young man felt the true gravity of the task he had been groomed for his entire life. Back on the Orc ship, the comms officer's tusked mouth trembled as he turned toward the war chiefs. "Signal incoming," he growled. "It's live?" A direct call. Oudish-con slammed a fist against the console, the metal groaning beneath his strength. His fangs gleamed as he snarled, "Refuse it. We don't parley with prey, we break them." His blood-red eyes burned with a hunger for battle, muscles rippling beneath the hide-strapped armor that creaked with every motion. Marca-mes, the broadest of the 3, stayed silent, his stern brow shadowing eyes that seemed to weigh the situation with stone-cold patience. His silence was louder than words. It was Mirana-sol who rose from her command throne, her towering frame silhouetted by the glow of the ship's starboard panels. Her voice cut through the tension, sharp and commanding. "Patch it through. We'll hear what they have to say before blades are drawn." The comms flickered alive, and on the main display appeared the face of a human. He was young by their standards, yet carried himself with a stillness that suggested experience far older than his years. His hair shimmered a strange silver white, contrasting his youthful features, and the room around him was lined with objects, rectangles bound in leather and paper. Books. An oddity. The human wasted no time. His voice was calm, measured, but edged with authority that did not beg. It commanded. Welcome to our solar system. Whether you come as travelers, scouts, or an army, I advise you to stop where you are. Neither you nor we would benefit from turning this first meeting into a war. So let's speak as equals. There is business to be made and futures to decide. The words hung heavy in the air, their weight not lost on even the battle-hungry Oudish, who gritted his tusks but said nothing.